Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is J.R. Moore coming to you live from deep in the mountains of the Missouri Ozarks on Tuesday, the 15th day of November, year of our Lord, 2016. Welcome to John Moore Show. Well, it was a week ago today that we made history, didn't we? Here's your prepper tip of the day. Most of you have teammates. Your teammates could be a spouse, a sibling, adult children, friends, co-workers, church members. Make sure your team members have everything squared away. They need to have squared away. Their training, their equipment, that the equipment they have is suitable for them, in good condition and proper working order, that the supplies they have are the supplies they should have and are properly stored and ready for use. Don't make any assumptions. That's basically the prepper tip of the day. When it comes to your team members, don't make any assumptions that they have the training they need, the supplies and equipment they need, that the supplies and equipment are properly stored, and they know how to both use them and maintain them. No assumptions. We're hoping this morning that Randall Terry will be calling in. He hasn't yet. This is typically a busy time of day when he's helping his children get breakfast and get ready for school. But we're hoping that he will call in, and we'll talk about his new DVD set titled, What Would Muhammad Do? Okay, and we do have patient waiting in the green room, my friend Randall Terry. Randall Terry is the gentleman responsible for the production, duplication, distribution of the excellent DVD series titled, What Would Muhammad Do? Good morning, Randall.
John, good morning. How are you?
Really good, sir. Looking forward to another early fall day here, or mid-fall day, I should say, in the south central Missouri. How about yourself, sir?
Well, Memphis has two seasons, this summer and next summer. So, it's been a really hot fall.
I've spent a lot of time in Memphis. A very dear friend of mine spent most of his adult life living there before he went back to Union, Tennessee. So I've seen the Ducks in the hotel down there, and and had the barbecue and listened to the jazz. So I like Memphis. It's a great town. Randall, this DVD series, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out the first segment, you can do so at my website, thelibertyman.com. Just scroll down the left side of my homepage, and you can see the first of 10 25-minute segments. The concept for this, Randall, when did you first get the idea to do this, sir?
About 7 years ago.
Really? Okay, that's quite a time from start to finish.
Well, we started working on it in earnest 2 years ago.
Okay.
But about 7 years ago, I went back to college and got a master's degree at a military university. My master's is in diplomacy and international terrorism. So, just an enormous amount of research. And as I was doing the research, I beg your pardon, as I was doing the research, I came to the conclusion that we had to do a TV series, a documentary of some sort, so that people would be able to recognize that Muhammad is the driving force for Islam and for Islamic terrorism.
Terry, I like to quote Erdogan from Turkey, the leader of the country of Turkey, in his statement he made within the last few months. There's just Islam. And it's apparently, and this is a Muslim who's in charge of one of the larger Muslim countries. But would it be a correct statement, Terry, to say that it's Westerners who attempt to split up Islam into all these different segments? Would that be a fair statement?
Well, it depends what the segments are. In other words, Sunnis and Shiites are split. But if you're talking about devout Muslims versus moderate Muslims, I think that's where I think that's where the West has no clue what it's talking about. You hear people talk about radical Muslims, and then you hear them talk about moderate Muslims or peaceful Muslims, and
Right.
they're missing the point. It's like saying a moderate Catholic,
Right.
or a devout Catholic. Well, there's Catholicism. That's all there is. There's Catholicism.
Right. Right.
There's
Right.
Islam. That's it. Islam is a school of thought. Islam is a philosophy. Islam is a war code. Islam is in fact, the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood said, if somebody comes up to you and says, you're a benevolent society, or somebody else comes up to you and says, you're a political movement, say to them that Islam admits no distinction. There's Islam. That's it.
Right. Right. Something I like to point out to people, Randall, is statements made by people, especially in the Bush administration, at the level of president, vice president, secretary of defense, about foreign fighters coming into Iraq. I like to point out to people that for 6 centuries, that part of the world was one country called the Ottoman Empire. And for 6 centuries, you could be born in Egypt, go to school in Turkey, marry a woman from Jordan, and live in Iraq. Point being, for 6 centuries, these people all went to different schools all over the place, intermarried from one part of that country to the other, the Ottoman Empire. Point being, they're all cousins. They're all related. So when our Secretary of Defense refers to foreign fighters, these people scratch their heads and say, what are they talking about, foreign fighters? These are my cousins coming here. Going from Jordan to Iraq is like going from Indiana to Illinois, isn't it?
Yes, and one of the difficulties that we have in America is that we don't know their history. We know our own history, but we don't know their history. And up until the end of World War I, there was just one huge Islamic nation, and its borders would contract and expand with various wars. But they spoke one language. They spoke Arabic. The Persians spoke Farsi, and the Turks spoke Turkish. But Arabic was the language of Islam from day one, and it still is. I mean, most Muslim nations have in their constitution that they're a Muslim nation and that Arabic is the official language. And that's because Muhammad said that God have mercy on us, the true God have mercy on us. He said that Allah had the Quran in heaven, it's a perfect book, it's the Word of God, and it's in Arabic. And so the Word of God and the perfect language for all time is Arabic.
Now, Randall, is it correct to say that the Arabic version of the Quran is the only one they really consider holy? That an English translation
That's correct.
is not considered holy. That's correct. Okay, that's what I thought.
It's not that it's not considered holy. It's that it's not considered the Word of God.
Okay.
In other words, it's holy in the sense that, to them, it's holy in the sense that this is an English or a French translation or transliteration of the Quran. But the Quran, for it to be the Word of God, perfect and flawless, has to be in Arabic.
Do Muslims in general want to emulate, now since I watched the series, I know a little bit about this that I didn't know before. They want to emulate and live a life similar to the life of Muhammad. Would that be a fair statement?
It is absolutely the case. Absolutely, yes. I hate to use comparisons and analogies comparing Christianity and Islam because they're so different. And a lot of people in America have been told that Islam and Christianity are very similar, and they're just not. And that comes from somebody who's studied Islam at the master's degree level, and one of my undergraduate degrees is in Christian theology. So I went to Bible college, and I have a bachelor's degree in Christian studies. So I've studied Christianity, Christian theology, Christian history. I've studied Islam, Islamic theology, Islamic history, and they're just not the same. They're not even remotely the same. But there are some analogies or some comparisons that can be made, such as if a person becomes a really devout Christian, what they want to do is they want to imitate Jesus, and so they ask the question, what would Jesus do? Implied in that question is that Jesus is the smart guy. He's the one who knows what to do. He's the one who we should be trying to imitate. And then that's why I decided I would name the series, What Would Muhammad Do? Because most of us get the joke, and a Muslim asks the question, what did Muhammad do? What did he say? And that's what I want to do, and that's what I want to say. And that's what Muslim terrorists are doing. That's why I urge people, get this series, or at least watch episode 1. I have to tell you this. This is funny. We spoke at a small Sunday school class, about 150 people, on Sunday, and I showed episode 1, and almost every person in the room got the series when it was done. And there were several people who bought 10 sets because they wanted to give them away to law enforcement, to their relatives, to their neighbors. Nothing like this has ever been produced, John, in the English language, or frankly, in any European language. No one has ever done an exhaustive study of Muhammad's life and then showed how Muslim terrorists are imitating the life and the words of Muhammad. And that's what we have going on. If you want to understand Islamic terrorists, you've got to understand Muhammad.
Now, Terry, in Mecca, of course, in Saudi Arabia is the focal point as far as real estate for Islam. And the men who basically run that as far as the theological part of it are the Wahhabis, aren't they?
Saudi Arabia, yes. Now, Wahhabis is a fairly recent sect, but they were in the spirit of them, and their predecessors were in existence at the time of Ali, who was Muhammad's son-in-law. So they want to follow the words of the Quran and the example of Muhammad, which is found in books called the Hadith and the biographies, the Siras of Muhammad. So those three bodies of literature together, the Siras, which are the biographies, the Hadith, which is the record of Muhammad's words and deeds that are not in the Quran, and then there's the Quran. And those three bodies of literature are the guiding force for the Wahhabis and for Al-Qaeda and for ISIS. I mean, these people all have the same literature. They all have the same records that they're studying. And they all have the same driving force.
Right. Now, my understanding also, Randall, is that the majority of mosques being built in the United States are being funded. The money's coming from the Wahhabis. Is that accurate?
I don't know if it's the majority. I know that a good portion of it is. If it's a Shiite mosque that's being funded by Iran, because the seat of Shiite Islam is Iran, you could have other Sunni mosques. So that's what the Saudis are, Sunnis. You could have Sunni mosques that are, most of them would be funded by Saudi Arabia, but you still could have some that were funded by other Middle Eastern oil.
Well, this
we need to look at a mosque as an embassy. A mosque is an embassy of a foreign law code and a foreign ruler. And I think that's one of what American domestic policy needs to be, is that all mosques need to be monitored. and some of them need to be shut down. I mean, you have to remember that the Falls Church, Virginia Mosque, for example, where al-Awlaki was the imam that Obama ordered killed when he was over in, I think Qatar, where we finally killed him. Don't hold me on that one, but he was an imam, American-born, in the mosque in Falls Church, and he had some of the 9/11 hijackers in his mosque regularly listening to his sermons. And Nidal Hassan, the Fort Hood murderer, he went to his mosque regularly. I mean, this man preached sermons that inspired people to commit acts of Islamic terrorism. And if we'd have been monitoring the mosque, we'd have known this. So
there's a lot of resistance to that. It's been, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the New York Police Department, the New York City Police Department, was attempting to do that, and they got shut down. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, that you are. The New York City Police were doing profiling, and the Fed said no. The current FBI regulations regarding the study anti-terrorism are insane. You can read them. They're stupid. Basically, they say that you cannot look at anyone's religious motivation or what religious materials they're reading. So, if I'm reading Hadith, the Chattanooga shooter told people before he went on the rampage and killed those 4 American servicemen, he told his fellow Muslims, he said, take your study guide, the Quran and the Sunnah. The Sunnah are the words and deeds of Muhammad that are not in the Quran. And he said, take your study guide and read it for yourself. He said, look, they all went to fight. They all ended up either as political leaders or as warriors, killing people. And that's what we need to do. So if I was in law enforcement and I noticed, wow, this guy's reading a lot of the Hadith. He's reading a lot of the Sunnah. This is a real danger here. If I was in the FBI, I'd be told to shut up, that was against the rules. I'm not allowed to look at the religious writings that he is reading, even though I know that these religious writings are going to inspire him to commit an act of terrorism.
We can hope that the new Attorney General will change that, and pray that that's the case. We have a break. Call numbers 800-313-9443. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, I was talking to Wes Peters the other day. He said, John, you need to go to our website at Swiss America and check out all the special reports. So let's do that right now. I'm at my website, thelibertyman.com. Go to the tile right below me on the motorcycle, click on Swiss America, and you're there at the website. Go to News and Views, and then scroll down to Special Reports. When you do that, you'll find 22 reports waiting for you to read them. It's a great education on gold coins, silver coins, and economics. After you're done, it's probably time to go ahead and contact Wes Peters. Wes is a great guy. He'll help you out and help you achieve your goals. Wes's telephone number is 877-864-1072. I say again, 877-864-1072. Check it out. Do your homework. Do your research. And then contact Wes Peters. Thank you very much. Back, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. J.R. Moore here on Tuesday, the 15th day of November, visiting with Mr. Randall Terry. We're talking about his new DVD set just released, It's available for sale. If you go to my website, thelibertyman.com, scroll down the left side of my homepage, you'll see the sword there, and it says, "What would Muhammad do?" Click on that. You can watch the first of the 10 segments right there, no charge. If you want the rest of them, you can buy a hard copy on DVD, $35 for all 10 segments. That's 10 25-minute segments, or $20 to watch it in the electronic version. And a friend of mine called me this morning. Go ahead.
I have to tell you, I want to hear what your friend said, but I have to tell you, there's 10 bonus episodes. So it's actually 20 episodes when you buy the DVD.
Okay.
When you watch the online version, you only get the first 10. But we had so much material that we just thought we cut out so much to make this documentary. It's a serial documentary. And when we were done, I said, look at all that we didn't get in. And then we said, well, let's do like they do in the movies where they have deleted scenes. So you get twice as much material. It's actually 4 DVDs. If you buy the set, it's 4 DVDs worth of material. And I just wanted you to know that it's not just 10 episodes, it's 20 episodes.
That's good news, Terry. I was not aware of that. Now, the second 10 segments are also 25 minutes each?
Yes. They're not as highly produced as the originals. That's like why I say it's like deleted scenes.
Right.
The first 10 episodes have music and art and voice actors, and we don't have any voice actors. It's just me in the second 10 episodes. But the content is of the same value, the same intense research.
So we're looking at 500 minutes here, basically, is what we're saying.
You are 8 hours. 8 hours plus of material, just shy of 500 minutes. Yep.
Well, that's breathtaking.
It's like
and
a college course.
A lot of value.
Course. I mean, it's like a college course. No one has ever done this. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I'm proud of what we have accomplished. We've been working on this for 2 solid years, and the research alone would be worth a small fortune, because I went to the State University of New York to get a communications degree, and had spent a lot of classes in Islam there. And then I went to get my master's degree, which was almost $30,000, and most of my classes there were on Islam. So people get the benefit of years of study, and all of the references are there. So we made this like a book. It's fun to watch. It's interesting to watch. But every time I make a quote, the reference is there. So somebody can freeze frame their DVD, and they can get the reference and go look up stuff for themselves and use this as a study guide.
Randall, a week ago today, we were votes away from having a Muslim become chief of staff to the female president, weren't we? God
save us. Christ saved us, man. We were praying. We took a trip throughout Florida and North Carolina, and I drove in a huge RV, just going everywhere I could with banners, literally 26-foot banners on the outside of the RV saying it was a sin to vote for Hillary. She's a corrupt, wicked, evil woman, and we dodged that bullet, man.
We did. Wednesday.
And
yes.
Hey, tell me what your friend said. I wanted to hear. In case it
he took delivery. He took delivery yesterday of 15 sets of your DVDs, and he was very pleased and happy with that. He's going to get me once. We have a weekly movie night here for my local preparedness group, and we'll start incrementally showing those a couple of hours per Saturday, and we have a Saturday evening free movie with popcorn and soft drinks here in Davisville, Missouri.
Oh, how fun!
It is fun.
Well, you'll be able to. What I told people is, look, if you watch episodes 1 through 10, it's 4 hours of material. That's a long sit. So do it in 2 breaks. Do episodes 1 through 5. That's like a nice 2-hour movie, and then see the next 2 hours.
Right.
Although my wife says people are going to be crying. People are going to be like, "What? I don't believe this." So
I know. Randall, hold on.
Bring tissues. All right.
Absolutely. We have a break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Tuesday, the 15th of November. Quick reminder, at my website, thelibertyman.com, you can get yourself an energy cleaner. The energy cleaner will help you mitigate pain. It could be arthritis pain or back pain. It could be getting a great night's sleep. That's what the energy cleaner will do. It'll help you get a great night's sleep and mitigate pain. If it doesn't, there's about a 2-3% chance it won't. I offer, for me to you personally, a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you're risking nothing when you get yourself an energy cleaner for only $285, shipping included to American zip codes. Check out the factory-made mattress pads that go with the energy cleaner. You'll be glad you did. I take PayPal, the most secure way to make any payment online, MasterCard, Visa. Checks can be sent to my address at thelibertyman.com. I'm getting a fresh shipment today from my friend Tom Berryhill, the manufacturer. Toll-free order line, 24 hours a day. Here it is, 800-592-9543. I say again, 800-592-9543. We're visiting with Mr. Randall Terry. Randall is the producer of the excellent DVD series titled What Would Muhammad Do? Available for sale at my website, thelibertyman.com. Just scroll down the left side of my homepage. You'll see the sword there, right below the title about Swiss America. And it says, What Would Muhammad Do? You can watch the first segment. It will get your attention. It got mine. You need to watch that and go ahead and place your order. You get the full 10 DVD set plus another 10 segments for $35. Or if you just want to watch the original 10 online through electronic means, $20 to get started on that. Randall, we've got a caller on hold here. We've got Dave from New York. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, John and Randall. I used to have a hadith, and I loaned it out to someone, and you know what happens to those when you loan them out, don't keep track. I wondered what is the best hadith to buy, and after buying this series of DVDs, is there a need to buy the hadith? And what would be the official best one to buy? Would be question number one.
What a great question. In English, if you want to write down these two hadith collections, one is Sahih Muslim. Sahih is spelled S-A-H-I-H. Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari. The word means true. Sahih means true. So Bukhari is a man, so true Bukhari and true Muslim. And what Sunnis hold is that these hadith collections are flawless. They're canonical. That they're unimpeachable. So they're kind of pricey. Sahih Muslim is 7 books. Sahih Bukhari is 8 books. They're hardcover when you buy them in English. But I will tell you a better plan. First, for sure, get this series. And yes, you do want to continue to study the Hadith even after you see this series. But there's online, for people who are online, there's online search engines that enable you to, for example, University of Southern California, USC, has a compendium with all of Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. There's another website in English called searchtruth.com. Searchtruth.com. And that's owned and operated by Muslims. And those websites have all of Sahih Bukhari and all of Sahih Muslim. Now, we're in the middle of building a search engine in our own website, because at some point Muslims are going to get wise to us and say, that's it, we're not going to let these things be up there for free. But anybody who can get into it's easy to go. Just go to searchtruth.com or go to the USC compendium. If you put in USC compendium hadith in a search engine, that will come up. And there's a third one. I can't remember the name of it, but you have to remember. Let me explain this to everyone, if I could, John. David, this is a great question.
All right.
Islam is made up of three things: the Quran, the Hadith, and the Siras, or the biographies of Muhammad. There are three sacred biographies. The Hadith are the written record of Muhammad's words and deeds that are not in the Quran. So the Quran is a really small book. It's about 1/8 the size of the English Bible. Probably even less than that. It's just teeny. It only has 114 chapters. The last 20 chapters average 7 verses each. The whole chapter only has 7 verses. So it's a small book. It's very repetitive. And it is the words, allegedly, the words of Allah that came to Muhammad from the angel Gabriel. Now, when Muhammad was alive, he would do stuff. Whatever it was, how he ate, how he washed his clothes. And people around him said, this is the prophet of God. This is the best example of how we should live day by day. So let's record how he lived, what he said. So, for example, the 5 pillars of Islam. You've all heard of this, the 5 pillars of Islam.
Right.
They're not in the Quran. They're not in the Quran. They're in the Hadith. Muhammad's rules of how to rape and when to rape women captured in war, those are predominantly in the Hadith. They're in the Quran as well. The rules are in the Quran. And, during the break, if I can go on a rabbit trail, my wife said, you need to tell people that there's episodes here that are not fit for small children. And so every episode is, and look at this like an episodic documentary, like Ken Burns, where you watch, week after week some part of American history. So one episode just focuses on killing mockers, killing people who mock Muhammad. Then another episode focuses straight up on anti-Semitism. Then another episode focuses on how Muslims are allowed to deceive non-Muslims. And then one episode, episode 6, is Muhammad and sex slavery. And it's rough to watch, because Muhammad had sex slaves, and he gave rules to his men on how and when they also could have sex slaves. So, be careful when you watch this that there's not little people around, and understand how the documentary is broke up. That's why we ended up having 10 episodes. We could have just had one long movie, but we thought, let's do this in an episodic manner. And the Hadith in question, to come back around to the Hadith, the 2 Hadith that we focus on almost exclusively are Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. And so what we did is we took the most respected literature inside of Islam, which is the 2 canonical Hadith, Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, and then the three main biographies written by Ibn Ishaq, one written by Al-Tabari and the other written by Ibn Kathir. And we used those bodies of literature as the foundation for the whole series. So all we do is quote their literature, their heroes, their historians. And that's why it's unimpeachable. There's not a Muslim on the planet that can say this is not true unless they want to say that they reject their own historians. And then if that's the case, hey, I'm all in. If a Muslim wants to say, no, you can't trust Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, and no, those passages in the Quran dealing with sexual slavery, we reject those, then I'd say, awesome. That means you reject Islam. Congratulations, you're no longer a Muslim.
Right. Which, the punishment for that is death, isn't it?
Correct. If someone leaves Islam, apostatizes, or mocks Muhammad,
Randall, what is your website, Randall?
My personal website is voiceofresistance.com. That's my TV show. I do a daily television show. But we want you to go ahead and buy this. We want you to buy this TV documentary through John's website. And we've let John post that first episode there for free. What's the website again, John? Forgive me.
It is thelibertyman.com. My listeners know that, thelibertyman.com. And Dave, this is the first public example of making this available other than Randall's website, isn't it, Randall?
Yeah, this is our beta test. We just spent about a month, maybe 6 weeks, hiring an IT person to enable us to have shows and companies and ministries and media outlets and websites like John's sell this in a turnkey fashion so that we can monitor like what John's viewers are doing, or John's listeners rather. So we're really excited, to be honest, and I consider it an honor. So today is our beta test, people. You are listening to the official beta test between the Liberty Man and What Would Muhammad Do?
All right. Dave,
Randall?
Thank you for your call.
Randall, one thing. Randall?
Go ahead, Rand.
Yes,
Go ahead,
David.
Dave.
One thing, Randall, even with all the information you have, you do not have what's been said since Muhammad died of him screaming out in the flames of hell. And his attitude towards Islam now would be, he'd be quite an evangelist against Islam, I'll tell you that, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. For those who want an artistic depiction of that, Dante's Inferno has Muhammad and Ali in a very deep hell. And there are a lot of Christian artists, especially during the Renaissance, who would paint pictures of what Dante said regarding Muhammad and Ali being in hell. And they're worth looking up. The visual, because what Dante said was that Muhammad and Ali were perpetually cut open, like they cut open their victims. I mean, you have to understand, Muhammad killed with his own hand. Muhammad ordered people tortured. And Ali would cut people from the top of their head down into their sternum, into their stomach, with a huge blade that he had. He would literally split men in two. These were violent warmongers. If Muhammad and Ali, his son-in-law, were alive today, they'd be on Interpol's top 10 wanted list.
They would.
And I don't mean to be unkind. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. I mean, that's just the simple fact of the matter. The things that they did, the crimes that they committed in the name of their new religion, Islam, basically are the inspiration for the crimes committed by ISIS and by Al Qaeda.
And Hillary's related to Muhammad, I believe.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm just thankful to God that Donald Trump is our president-elect and not Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, thank God.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dave, thank you for your call. I don't expect you to have an answer for this, but I'm going to ask the question anyway, Randall.
I'll make one up.
Okay. There's a Muslim, a gentleman who was raised as a Muslim, Barack Hussein Obama, who publicly has converted to Christianity. Why has there not been a fatwa issued for his death since he converted from Islam to Christianity?
Well, ISIS has said they want to kill him.
They did. Okay.
In other words, ISIS and Al Qaeda have both said they want to kill him.
Okay. So is that just their statements, or is there a fatwa from an imam?
I don't know. But if there was, it would surprise me if there was not. It would surprise me if there was not one, because all you would have to do is have an imam who is in the orbit of Al Qaeda or ISIS,
which there's plenty of.
Right. But the American media, rightly, a broken clock is right twice a day. The American media would be stupid to air any fatwa against a sitting president. Of course, they'll probably do it with Donald Trump. So you're not going to have a fatwa. You're not going to have a fatwa against a sitting president that comes out of Saudi Arabia or Pakistan or Afghanistan, because those are all state-controlled media.
Right.
So if they allowed a fatwa to come out of there, then they would be culpable. They'd be guilty at the state level.
They would. Right.
And they don't want to be considered state actors of terrorism or state sponsors of terrorism.
Well, ISIS has been very clever about making use of social media, it seems like, regardless of the attempts to shut them down. We all saw the horrific, barbaric videos of how they execute their prisoners. So I'm a bit surprised they have not used their access to social media to promote that kind of fatwa against Barack Hussein Obama. I like to point out to Randall that we have a president named after a horse. You do know that, don't you?
For those who do not know what John is talking about, I have to be careful here because I'm so tempted to do the joke. There was a horse named Burak, and this is the name of the horse that allegedly, this is a fantasy, of course, but allegedly took Muhammad on his night flight. So Muhammad fell asleep at the Kaaba. And Muhammad said that a horse took him from the Kaaba, made several stops, and flew, a flying horse with the head of a human and wings, and this flying horse took him to Jerusalem. And from there, Gabriel and he went to Jerusalem, and then Gabriel took him up into the seven heavens where Muhammad finally met with God. So Burak is the name of the horse, not the horse's ass. Sorry, I couldn't.
So we do in fact have a president of the United States who is named after a horse. I think that's fascinating.
Yes, it's the mystical horse that took Muhammad on the night flight. It's not. At least he's not named after Silver. Hi-ho, Silver. Okay, never mind. We're in the weeds now. We're in the weeds. And by the way, the record of Muhammad's night flight, where the ultimate end of that is that 5 prayers a day are required of Muslims. And that is all supposed to be from a conversation that Muhammad had with God when the horse Burak took him on this night journey. And it's not in the Quran.
Amazing. That's amazing. Randall, hold on. We have our last break here. Stay tuned. The call number is 800-313-9443. We'll be right back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Tuesday, the 15th of November. Let's make this a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make today's show a winner for Randall Terry, for myself, and for all of us, because we really need this information contained in this 10 DVD set. What would Muhammad do? If you go to my website, thelibertyman.com, scroll down the left side, right above that little spinning globe there, you'll see a sword. That's Muhammad's sword, of course, and it says, what would Muhammad do? Click on there. You can watch the first 25-minute episode right there. Just click on it and watch it, and you'll be hooked like I was. You're going to want the entire series. You can get the first 10 by electronic means for $20, or you can get the entire nearly 500 minutes for $35 delivered to your door, can't you, Randall?
Yes. And the $35 one is actually 4 DVDs. So you've got the 10 episodes that you can watch online digitally, and then the bonus reels, the bonus DVDs with a ton of other information. The bonus reels have the 5 Pillars of Islam and Muhammad's Night Flight. They have a long section on lone wolves, a section on Muslim constitutions, some great stuff. I won't read them all for the sake of time. But also Muhammad's words about Christ. Muhammad was obsessed with Jesus. Absolutely obsessed. And it comes out in the series, in his words. So, some of us are thinking, I don't want to know about Islam. Listen, we better follow Winston Churchill's example. Winston Churchill, the reason that the British told him, hey, you lead us out of this mess in World War II, was because he knew what was going on. He understood Hitler, and in the 1930s, he was opposing Hitler when the rest of Europe was saying that Hitler was a great guy and a peaceful guy. So we have to use Churchill's example as our guiding force. Churchill's maxim was study your enemy. Study your enemy. And we've got to study our enemy if we're going to be safe.
Randall, we've had, I'm not sure how many, but at least one congressman, maybe more, has taken their oath of office using the copy of the English translation of the Quran from Thomas Jefferson's private library. So they're standing there smiling with their left hand on the Quran, taking their oath of office to be U.S. congressman. Thomas Jefferson had a copy of the Quran so he could understand, study, and gain knowledge about his enemy, the Muslims, that were in what the country now called Libya, didn't he?
Yeah, they were the Barbary Coast. There was pirates that were capturing Americans. Jefferson hated Islam, and they were. There was 1 million white slaves in that time of Jefferson's presidency. 1 million. They were capturing ships. They were and they were taking people to slavery because slavery is part of Islamic ideology.
And still is.
And that's why we've got to study. Yeah, we've got to study this material. See, Churchill read Mein Kampf. And if we're going to understand Islam, we've got to read the Quran, but more importantly, we've got to read Ibn Ishaq, the biography of Muhammad, and we've got to read the Hadith. Or I can save somebody a lot of time and they can just buy this series.
We'll continue this next week, Randall. We'll continue this next week. Thank you, sir. We'll talk soon privately.
My pleasure, John.
Okay. That's it for this hour. We'll be back next top hour with Leon Green. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. J.R. Moore here, our second hour on Tuesday, the 15th day of November. Prepper tip of the day. No assumptions about your teammates. Make no assumptions. Make sure your teammates have the training that they should have, that they have the equipment that they should have, that the equipment they own is properly maintained, that they know how to use it, and they know how to maintain it. Make sure that the supplies they have are the supplies that they do need, that supplies they have are properly stored. Make no assumptions. And that goes for yourself. Don't leave yourself out. You make sure you check out all your gear and equipment and training as well. No assumptions about yourself or your teammates. Your teammates could be a spouse, adult children, parents, friends, co-workers, fellow church members, whatever it might be. No assumptions about your teammates. That is your prepper tip of the day. We have patient waiting in green room, my friend Leon Green. Leon Green is a gentleman who's taken the time and made the effort to begin a lifelong quest to become an expert in all the myriad number of uses that essential oils, especially doTERRA essential oils, can be put to help us all have the fun, full, healthy, productive lives that we all want to have. Good morning, Leon.
Good morning, John.
Leon, I got a surprise from doTERRA the other day. My wife does the ordering, Dr. Moore. Uh-huh. I'm holding here in my hand. I was not aware that doTERRA has toothpaste. And it's doTERRA On Guard Natural Whitening Toothpaste. Nice sized tube, 4-ounce tube, and I got the list of ingredients here. And I was pleased to see that there's no sodium fluoride in there. That's a good thing, isn't it?
Amen. You're right. And I thought when you came out to Denver last time, I thought I left a sample pack for you, but I guess
now that you refresh my memory, there was a small tube of toothpaste in there.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
and those are great for traveling.
it was a small travel size. Well, this is the good size home usage size, and it's good to know that doTERRA is getting into other products that people can use in their daily lives, isn't it, Leon?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, just in case you don't know about the rest of them, they have the whole On Guard series. So there's an On Guard concentrate that you can use for general cleaning instead of bleach, hydrogen peroxide, and things like that. And then there's also On Guard foaming wash. I believe you have that as well. And then there's also laundry detergent. So you don't have all the phosphates and all the chemicals that people get from their typical solution. And you can use them in the high-tech washers. And I use that whenever I'm doing laundry. And then a lot of times you'll hear people having contact dermatitis. They'll touch the chemicals that are on the clothes and then put the clothes right back on. And what happens is, they are allergic to those chemicals, and it takes a little while for the doctors to ascertain that's the issue. So, doTERRA has that, a spa line, so that, that's particularly for ladies, but that aren't taking all the chemicals that are SLS and all the other things that people find, all the degreasers and things like that, and typical women's products as well. So they pretty much covered the whole gamut when it comes to anything that touches your body or anything that you ingest.
Well, Leon, that's good to know. That's good to know. If you have any questions, comments, or for Leon or myself about doTERRA products, certainly welcome to give us a call here at Republic Broadcasting at 800-313-9443. Well, Leon, I just got this On Guard out of the box yesterday. I'm going to start using it to see how it does for whitening teeth and for cleaning teeth. It's quite a list of ingredients here. I didn't count the number of ingredients. It looks like about a dozen or so, most of which are essential oils, aren't they?
Absolutely. And 5 of them, are automatically in On Guard, which is doTERRA's proprietary blend. So there's clove, wild orange, cinnamon, rosemary, eucalyptus. So those are the 5 that are naturally in there anyway. And then there's xylitol. But there is no there's no fluoride in any case at all.
Well, let's talk a little about saving money. Everybody likes to save money. Almost normal people do. And there's a suggestion here to make your own homemade mouthwash. All you need is a small bottle of On Guard and 8 ounces of water. You put 1 drop. It only takes 1 drop of On Guard into the water, and you've got your 8 ounces of mouthwash, which would probably last a better part of a week or so. And so you get a double whammy there. You get a high-quality mouthwash, and you're saving money, aren't you, Leon?
Absolutely. And then if you're really motivated and you want to go to boot camp again, you just add 2 drops of oregano.
Wow, yeah. Oh, baby, oh, baby. Yeah, well, if you have some issues in your mouth
yes.
Of any kind, health, open sores, gum issues, things like that, that would be a good thing to do, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. What's really nice about, clove oil, which is an On Guard naturally, they've used it for thousands of years, dentists have, and people, oral practitioners, because it's a natural way to deaden pain. And so people, if you remember, great grandma would tell you if you had a sore throat, or more importantly, a toothache, you chew on a clove. Well, try that sometime. Put a drop on, especially if you have anyone that deals with those kind of pains. I normally tell them to dry out their mouth wherever the pain is. Then pour a drop of clove specifically, but if not, they don't have clove, then they can always use On Guard. They just need more. And they will feel the pain subside because of how effective it is at temporarily deadening the pain. Clove is unique in the world, and it has the highest antioxidant of anything on the planet naturally occurring. Yes, sir. Cinnamon is number 2. So many people will say, well, I get my antioxidants from blueberries and cranberries and all the berry family. And then they say mangosteen has 40,000. And they keep going up the list. And then they talk about cinnamon. It's 400,000 ORAC value. and then the highest is clove, which is 2.2 million. So there's not even a close second, and that's how effective clove is in being an antioxidant.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, here's how you get started with doTERRA, ladies and gentlemen. Two things. First of all, get yourself a copy of the book. You need this book. Give us the title of the book, Leon.
Modern Essentials.
Modern Essentials, yes. Thank you. Modern Essentials. 8th edition. Modern Essentials. That's the first thing. And number two, send me an email. We're trying to not get sideways with the jackbooted thugs at the Food and Drug Administration, so we don't have a direct link on my website. Send me an email. By return email, I will send you my doTERRA website link. We can't make claims about healing with essential oils, can we, Leon?
Absolutely not. Matter of fact, I've been remiss to say, but yes, none of these statements have been evaluated by the FDA to make many claims about treatment, cure, yada, yada, yada. But in essence, your body is what cures you. It's not a chemical. If you provided the right tools, it is able to do what it does best. It can recuperate naturally, but you're misled by thinking, oh, you have to go to the demagogues with the white jackets on, and they will apparently heal your body, which your body knows what to do anyway.
Your body does know what to do anyway. And doTERRA essential oils can change your life in ways that you would not anticipate just going into it, won't they, Leon?
Yes, sir. The ability to improve your life holistically is incredible. From both cooking to pain relief across the board, and you can do this naturally now, as well as during emergencies. So many people, throughout. Like I went to a Self-Reliance Expo here in Colorado last weekend, and it was quite informative. And in the past, I used to speak at that same location, but now it was funny to see. They had 3 different speakers on the from the same booth on it, which was great to see. And I really wanted to attend it, but they were doing more. There were some other things: emergency comms, tactical repeaters, encrypted repeaters. So those are higher on my hierarchy of priorities. But I still wanted to attend it. I was going to send my children to watch it so they could give me their insight and anything that they had learned that I hadn't taught them. But to see how much it is becoming mainstream now, and especially from the preparedness point of view, is very good. I watched a webinar just recently, and there were 2 ladies that were wives of one of the speakers. 2 ladies of 2 of the speakers, and they had talked about essential oils in emergencies, and to see that now more and more preppers and survivalists are interested in it because they realize how light they are. There's no shelf life. You can cache, and you can bury them right along with your medical supplies, coins, lead, and security devices, and you can access them in the future, and they're cheaper. So for preppers, it's a no-brainer. So that was my first knowledge of them is how many benefits it had, and then as I've grown, the list is endless of how many applications, whether you're dealing with termites or, and you were talking about ticks and the skunk spray. So there's so many different things
right.
We're learning every day.
Right.
And then when you were talking, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Leon. Go ahead.
Yeah, when we talked about those the sample packs of the On Guard, and all my bags, I leave extra copies of those in there. And what's nice is if you don't have, fresh water, or say you're dealing with, like what happened last year, it was at West Virginia, where they had the tainted water and they had the boil alert for several weeks. Well, what's good about On Guard, because it is so effective in killing bacteria, you can also use it if water is limited, and you can use it on your toothpaste. And so it kills the bacteria that reside naturally on the toothpaste. on your toothbrushes, after you've already, washed them off. So if you're already limited with water and you don't want to, quote, waste clean water or fresh water on it, that's a way to disinfect your toothbrush. Whereas when you just, brush your teeth with your currently brushing, all the bacteria from your mouth, which is the dirtiest orifice in your body, they just reside on it. You can put hot water. Most people don't put their toothpaste or toothbrushes in bleach because they hate the taste of it that strong. So what happens is you have the residual bacteria that are on there, and you can reinfect yourself. And you can really tell a really good doctor is if you've had a serious illness and it was an infection, they'll tell you to discard your old toothbrush. But when's the last time your doctor has told you that, or you told your children to get rid of it after they get over this cold? Because all you're doing is reinfecting yourself, and so that's a great way to protect yourself when you're on the road and in emergency situations as well.
Well, getting this information is good and timely. During normal times, it's good to be healthy, but in hard times, it won't be optional. And one of the things we talk about frequently, Leon, you and I, is the need to have some backup. Our transition from pharmaceutical prescription products to essential oils, which have no shelf life, expiration date, and are healthy, don't have the side effects that the pharmaceutical products do. So I want to encourage people to do their homework and do their research and look at what can be substituted for the various prescription products they take by making use of doTERRA essential oils. That would be a very important thing to do, wouldn't it, Leon?
Absolutely. To be able to, and when we always talk about redundancy, and this is a great way of doing it. And many people I've spoken to have gotten the kits, and I said, great. And then I will contact them in a month or so later and ask them how much you enjoyed the oil. Many of them will say, well, I stashed them right next to my night vision goggles. And then I ask the same question, when's the last time you used your night vision goggles? I'm like, I've never used them. It's like, well, the time to try to learn how to do that is not when you're in the middle of the dark and there is no lights. There are no lights, and you're using a flashlight to read the instructions. And especially if there's a major calamity, that's not the time to do that. So I behoove you to try the oils now. See how effective peppermint is for indigestion and for headaches, and whether my son loves peppermint with hot cocoa in the morning. So across the board. But there was a woman. She got a kit 2 months ago, and her husband drove all the way to Montana. And she put a bunch of drops on a cotton ball, and she was worried about him falling asleep along the ride. In her email, she said it kept him awake, and it was so strong that he put it behind him in the cab because the peppermint vapors, the menthol vapors, can be, if they don't touch your eyes, but they can still be so evaporative that it causes people to water their eyes. So she said it kept him awake, but he had to put it behind him because of how strong they were.
Really amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. Well, getting started is simple. Like I say, get the book, Modern Essentials, get the My doTERRA website. Just send me an email at thelibertyman.com. I'll send you my website for doTERRA by return email. The whole topic can be a bit intimidating for people just getting into it, can't it, Leon?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the kits come in, where the guesswork's been taken out of the kits. You may wonder, oh, should I get this oil? Should I get that oil? Look at all the oils. Well, when you get the kit, then you eliminate a lot of the guesswork, don't you, Leon?
Absolutely. And even one of the basic ones, the Home Essentials kit, has 10 oils in it. Maybe we can go over those quickly, but there are 6 singles and 4 blends that are proprietary to doTERRA. So lemon for detoxifying, and the whole cleansing aspect. Frankincense is phenomenal. If you're ever in doubt what oil to reach for, if you look at all the different oils, you look at the book, frankincense is phenomenal. Is that any of the other oils that you use, it will improve them. And I'll continue later.
Hold that thought. We got a break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Tuesday, the 15th day of November, visiting with Leon Green. Yes, we're talking about doTERRA essential oils. No apologies. I need healthy listeners. I need healthy listeners so that they can do what they need to do for themselves and tell other people. Leon has been very gracious about making himself available for private consultations. He's in the Mountain time zone, so his office telephone number is what, Leon?
303-495-2188.
Okay, you cut off there. I'll say again, 303-495-2188. Correct, Leon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it. If you want a private consultation with a gentleman who's spent more time than almost anybody studying up and learning about what essential oils can do to help you, well, just give Leon a call and get started on this. Time's a wasted. You know, Leon, it'll be 2017 in 7 weeks.
Yes, sir. This year, each year seems to fly by faster than the previous one.
Closer to 6 weeks, actually. But we got a new president coming in. We got a new year coming up in 6 to 7 weeks. And it's time to be thinking about this new year coming up. It's time to be thinking about your health, maybe. People tend to have quiet reflection, especially between Christmas and New Year's, when this country pretty much shuts down normal economic activity and people have more discretionary time. And that's only that season is only 5 weeks away. Now's the time to be thinking about where do you want to be, ladies and gentlemen, with your health, with your energy, with your capabilities. If you want to have increased health, increased vitality, get away from your dependency on pharmaceutical products, well, you need to look at doTERRA essential oils to help you achieve that goal. And Leon, as you and I both say, it's not the silver bullet. If you think your diet can consist of Cheetos, diet soda, and ice cream and be healthy, well, you're sadly mistaken, aren't you, Leon?
Yes, sir. I just watched a video that talked about, what most preppers' biggest challenges they have, and it just showed a bunch of them that were morbidly obese. And there was one of the guys was a soldier right in front of with a bunch of other fit guys, and he looked like Fat Albert. I was like, I can't believe. And I looked at that, I was like, he can't run across the sand if he was in Iraq. And he's also a larger target, too. So when you think of center mass, it's a much larger target. And even having armor, he still has a lot of periphery access. And so it has a huge impact on how well, and a lot of times people, they take offense to it, but the better shape you are, the longer you can go, the more endurance you have, and the less that the minor aches and pains of, cross-country travel, walking, 5 miles, 10 miles to get back home, whether it's like the Atlanta storm, the 2 ice storms they had last year that shut the city down. And you think the first time they would have learned it, but the second time it came again, and those same people were in the dirt or in the slipping down. And one lady, it took her 13 hours to walk 6 miles. It was incredible. She walked all night, and it just blew me away how vulnerable these people were. And we're not talking a third world nation. Atlanta is the second largest airport in the nation, and because of that, or the second busiest, and because you think they would have learned, but people seem to fail to learn from their previous mistakes, and then they just repeat them. And so, when it comes to your family's mistakes, it comes to your family, mistakes or oversight is really not an option.
Right. Well, the time to be making these lifestyle changes, dietary changes, improvements to health, well, the time is right now, not at some future date. Well, I'll do it tomorrow. No, there's no time like today. There isn't. There's no time like today. Leon, I subscribe to a Sportsman's Guide to get their catalogs and so forth. They are outfitters for sportsmen to go hunting and fishing and various outdoor activities. They're now selling a chair for men and women it's a chair for one person with a 500-pound capacity. Leon,
incredible.
It is, isn't it? Here's our break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. are back. J.R. Moore here on Tuesday, the 15th of November. My website is thelibertyman.com. That's thelibertyman.com. At my website, you'll find interesting free downloads. We now have a 1,010-page book that you can download, print out. Here's what you need to do. This book is this important. You need to get 1,010 pages of 3-hole punch paper, print it out, put it in a 3-ring binder. Matrix 3, Volume 2. You really, really need to get this book. It will give you the details of how the New World Order intends to destroy the human race as we know it. You really need this book. Also, on my website, of course, you'll find an energy cleaner. I use mine every night. I do. I use my energy cleaner every night. I have an energy cleaner connected to my factory-made fitted mattress pad, and at the end of a long day, typically I'm up at 6 a.m. and go to bed about 10 p.m., trying to keep that circadian rhythm right where it should be. I'm typically, in 10 minutes or less, I'm in a very deep sleep, that rapid eye movement sleep. I mean, that first couple of hours, basically I could probably get by on it okay, but I do lay there for a full 8 hours typically. And you can also. We focus on pain mitigation and getting a great night's sleep. That's what we focus on. Seriously, we do. So get yourself an energy cleaner, only $285, shipping included. Yes, I do take PayPal, the most secure way to make any payment online. And yes, I do offer from me to you personally a 30-day money-back guarantee. Check out the factory-made mattress pads that go along with the energy cleaner. You'll be glad you did. Toll-free auto line 24 hours a day. Here it is, 800-592-9543. I say again, 800-592-9543. Okay, we're visiting with Leon Green, and we're talking about doTERRA essential oils. No apologies. We want to see people be healthy, have the healthy, full, fun, productive life with all the energy they need to do everything they want to do. And doTERRA essential oils are part of that, just like the energy cleaner. Here's how you get started. Send me an email. My email address is thelibertyman@AOL.com. By return email, I will send you my doTERRA website link. Number 2, get yourself a copy of the book titled Modern Essentials, 8th edition. Modern Essentials, 8th edition. My copy is right here in the kitchen where we pull it off the shelf to make reference to it about once a week. And it takes typically, Leanne, what would you say, about 3 to 5 minutes to find what we're looking for, doesn't it?
Yes, if that, and it really depends on the extent of what the issues are. But in most cases, it'll describe some of the, especially if you know the symptom. I mean the systems. If you know it's digestive, then you can focus on that. And there are many oils that will address that. So peppermint, ginger, fennel are very good for stomach upset. And so the one called Digest Zen, which is a proprietary blend by doTERRA, and that has 6 or 7 oils that are very effective in that capacity. So people who have occasional constipation or diarrhea, it works very well in that pursuit. And so once you know what the body system is, you'll start to learn very quickly which ones are that will cover that. And then, like frankincense, when I was describing earlier, frankincense is great in that it has over 650 known constituents. So it is naturally anti-inflammatory. It has so many different benefits. So if you're ever at a loss for words of which ones to use and you don't have a book with you, frankincense is very effective in a multitude of issues. And when you use frankincense attached to another oil, it increases both. It's a synergistic nature. And then if you want to drive an oil deeper, if you put peppermint on after you have a sore you have a sore body part, you can put something like Deep Blue or something of that nature on. But peppermint will drive it deeper, and frankincense is more like an accelerant. So it works very well in both capacities. So, and then I was trying to finish up on that the oils that are in that kit, the Home Essentials kit, and so lemon, frankincense, melaleuca, oregano. And then the four blends are On Guard. On Guard is for the immunity support. Deep Blue is for pain and soothing blend. Digest Zen is specific for digestive issues. And then lastly is Breathe, which is another proprietary blend, and that's for respiratory issues. So when you start off with a kit like that, you can always expand and expound on more oils that are specific to whatever issues you have. But that's a great way to start. And the kit I got was the Natural Solutions kit because I wanted a larger kit. And that one had 18. It came with the box. It even came with the diffuser because I wanted to have the benefits and the protection, because the advantage of having the oils diffuse in the air is, and now we're going into the fall, winter, what's happening is more people are going to be indoors, and all the bugs that you've been able to get away with in the summer are now going to be cloistered in with us. And so you pass them on, from member to member, or if you're in a business, the customers will bring in bugs too. So you can actually diffuse the oils in the air. Your staff will be, especially if you use your staff will be happier and healthier if they're breathing in the oils, and they will take less sick time. So for business owners, it's a great way to do it. And then you're not impacted during the holidays as well. But more importantly, if your clientele are happy, they're more likely to buy. And if they're happy and healthy, they're more likely to buy things because they're in your store shopping instead of at home in bed.
Well, that's good to know, Leon. That's good to know. And it takes a bit of initiative. We got people listening to us, about 3,000 to 5,000 people all over the planet. And doTERRA does ship overseas, don't they? Absolutely.
We're in 34 different countries, and this is something we learned at the last convention, that 84% of all of our oils are exclusive to doTERRA. So when you see people say, "Oh, our oils are the same as their oils," and that is completely incorrect, because doTERRA has contracts with these people who, in many cases, never had. They've never been paid till after they already shipped the product, and sometimes they've never been paid. Period. So doTERRA has co-impact sourcing, in which we have exclusive contracts with these people. So the oils are not identical. So whenever I hear people make that allegation, it's like, no, we have confirmation. And as a matter of fact, I will sing you. Just recently, doTERRA was ranked we had accolades from Forbes and several other major business as being one of the best companies to work for in the mid range. And I'll send you those accolades. Just show you doTERRA. The ethos altogether is to help individuals and help others throughout the world as they do that. So it's a great company to work with.
It is, absolutely. I work with several doctors, all of whom have incorporated essential oils into their practice, medical doctors, chiropractors, both. And they all do their independent research. These doctors don't know each other. And they came to the same conclusion, that after researching the essential oils companies that are out there, they came to the same conclusion that doTERRA had the highest quality, the highest standards, and the purest oils that money can buy. And I reached the same conclusion, and so did you, Leon, didn't you?
Yes, sir. And one thing, and you were talking about how much the medical industry is starting to open up. It's incredible. If you ever got a chance to watch that video I sent you, or the audio, that talks about, it showed these doctors, 6 of them, they were completely flabbergasted, the staff and the owners, because they stood up and said, "This is how effective the oils are. We've done the research. We know how effective they are." And they swallowed the pills in front of 30,000 people, making a statement to say, "Look, this isn't your mom's essential oils," and that the fact that in the past they didn't know what was in it. And now, because doTERRA does over 15 different tests by 2 separate entities, and to ensure there are no pesticides, insecticides, chemicals, and things of that nature in there. And this is how confident. The 2 of them were Harvard surgeons, and one of those surgeons was also an MIT surgeon. So to show their confidence of knowing, hey, it's one thing to help a patient. It's another thing to put it in yourself. So that was a blatant statement saying, look, this is how much we trust the oils.
That's a powerful statement on a part of men and women who have a lot of veracity, isn't it?
Yes, sir. And you also asked that question about and I should have written down the notes, but I had somebody last week contact me, and she said, I don't use credit card on the phone. I don't like to use a credit card on the internet. And she was trying to figure out how she could put her order in. And she called me, and we did a three-way with doTERRA on the phone. They set up her account, and she mailed in her a check. She said, I like to write checks or money orders. So she mailed the money order directly to doTERRA, and she's already received the oil. So for people who don't like to use credit cards online, we can always do it on the phone with you talking directly to doTERRA, or you can always just set up your account and have it mailed directly to doTERRA. And if you like to call me, we can do it. It normally takes about 4 minutes if you have a pen and a piece of paper and a credit card, and you can write down the address, and you can mail it in, or you can just do it on the phone. It takes no more than 4 minutes.
Well, that's good to know that that's available. I know a lot of my listeners don't even have internet access, Leon. And so
yes, sir.
It's good to know that you've made this service available, and it's very gracious of you to do so, and it helps a lot of people, and I do thank you for doing so.
Yes, sir.
So step up to the plate, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about energy cleaner procrastinators. Well, there's essential oil procrastinators also, isn't there, Leon?
What? No.
There are.
Yes, sir.
There are.
Yes, sir,
seriously.
they are. You're right.
Of course there are. Of course there are.
And it's just like, think about night vision. People, they realize it's a force multiplier, and they look at the price tag of $2,000 to $7,000, and they're like, no, that's not going to happen. And so, in this case, some night vision is better than no night vision when you're in the dark. And that statement, the one-eyed man is king in the land of the blind, and so that
That's
really
right.
applies in that capacity. And so
That's right.
I'm not asking you to lower your standards, especially when it comes to essential oils, because if you think you can go to Walmart or any of the Target, because they're now selling essential oils, or what they're claiming are, and in essence, that is just gasoline with a pretty smell. There's no therapeutic value to those whatsoever. They just smell great, and so 80% of all the essential oils in the world are made specifically for the fragrance community. So we're not looking for a pretty smell. That if we have that nuance and the aroma, that's great. But we are looking for a medicinal and therapeutic application, and that's why doTERRA, even we go down as far as the specific species of lavender, and all of the oils are dedicated specifically from that genre for its medical application. And many people are like, well, the stuff I get there, it smells so much better. It's like, well, does it help your body? They're like, no, but it smells great. It's like, well, other than the emotional support, that's all you're getting. But it's not helping you in some cases because it has benzene and toluene and all the other poisons. It's actually doing damage. So that's why it's crucial where you get your oils from.
And many of these over-the-counter vitamins are also products from the petrochemical industry. But when you get doTERRA essential oils, you're not dealing with products from the petrochemical industry, are you, Leon?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, one thing that they even talked about was there's a trail of evidence. They're soon, in the next month, they're going to allow you to look on the side of your bottle, and it will have a code in which you can actually go to a website that doTERRA produces, and it will show you the date of harvest, the exact components of each oil. So when you say you're doing lavender, it'll show you the species number, the date it was harvested, and all the tests attached to it. And so you'll be able to see that, whereas no other company in the entire world is providing that information to their customers, because they're many of it's proprietary, but they're like, we don't want to show you that, this may have Monsanto's Roundup in it, or it has toluene in it. They aren't going to show you that. doTERRA shows all of the specs, and that was really exciting, because I've asked for that for years, to say, hey, I would like to see this, and especially for our clients to be able to see that, look, they have tested for all these chemicals, and they're pure.
Well, that's good to know. doTERRA is the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. If you want access to the highest quality oils at good prices, people look at these little bottles and how much they cost and think, man, that's a lot of money. But when you look at how much you're supposed to take, when it says 1 drop, it really means 1 drop. When you make your own mouthwash using 1 drop of On Guard in 8 ounces of water, they mean 1 drop. That's all it takes, right, Lynn?
Absolutely. It's and many people say, well, can I overdose on them? You know, if you use 4 drops, all you're going to do is you don't necessarily have to do that. And in most of the oils, you know, the 15 milliliter bottles, they have 250 drops in each bottle. And if the average of all the bottles are anywhere from $20 to $30, we're looking at about 10 cents a drop. And lemon is the cheapest, along with lemongrass, and they're $10 for members. And as a member, you get it 25% off. And then, whereas there are some other ones that are a little bit more, much more, but many times there are other oils, because the oils they're natural. They have overlying, or they may be used in different applications. So, you know, that one oil, Melissa, is quite pricey. I only use it for 2 things, whereas lemon has so many different attributes. And so if you're looking at something that costs, you know, 4 cents a drop compared to a drug that may be $1 a pill, up to there are some pills, some cancer pills, that are $1,000 a pill. So
that's right.
You can go off the chart. So when people look at it, they look how small the bottle is, but when you think of 250 drops in each bottle, if you put that in perspective, we're looking at pennies on the dollar compared to pharmaceutical drugs that have serious side effects, including suicide and homicidal tendencies, and very corrupting.
Hold that thought. We have our last break. If you got a question, 800-313-9443. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. J.R. Moore here on Tuesday, the 15th day of November. We're visiting with Leon Grain. Here's how you get started with doTERRA Essential Oils. Real simple. Send me an email. My email address is thelibertyman@aol.com. And by return email, I will send you my doTERRA website link. Pretty simple, isn't it, Leon?
Sure, it's very simple. And for people who don't have access to the internet or want to use it, you can always feel free to call me at 303-495-2188, and we can walk you through it very quickly as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what you need to be doing. So don't procrastinate. Send me that email. Get yourself a copy of the book, Modern Essentials, and you can be on the road to regaining lost health, maintaining optimal health. You might be a high-end athlete like my grandson who has a football scholarship in college, or you might be just an average guy or gal who has and enjoys average health, or you might be a guy or a gal who's dealing with some chronic issues. It doesn't matter where you are in life, where you are in your health. doTERRA Essential Oils can and should be part of optimal health and well-being, can't they, Leon?
Yes, sir. And to say that they can change your life would be an understatement.
It would be. It would be. So get over it, end your procrastination. And if you need a private consultation, give Leon a call. Set up that first private no-charge consultation. Here's his office telephone number, 303-495-2188. 8888. And Leon, I want to encourage you, because I know you're a reader, to download a copy of that book, Matrix 3, Volume 2. I think you'll find it very helpful because there's so many health-related matters in that book.
And that's on your website?
It's on my website. Scroll down the right side of my homepage to free downloads. And click on free downloads. There's several books there. The top one, the first one, is Matrix 3, Volume 2, 1,010 pages.
Yes, sir. I will look at that. I did look at a Sportsman's Guide. I saw the ones that were 425 pounds, so you are correct.
It's amazing. It is. But the market will meet market demand, and the market is demanding chairs for 500-pound people, cots for 600-pound people. And it's a sad commentary that's where we are, but it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't.
Correct.
It's a matter. Health is mostly a consequence of two things: what you eat and what you don't eat. So,
matter of fact, Denver, the Broncos, when they renovated the Bronco Stadium about 6 years ago, they ended up losing 3,000 seats because they had to make them wider for the larger derrieres. And you always heard about the airports, the airlines now charging people that they can't fit in the seat now. They're double charging them for 2 seats because they would sell that to somebody else. So, some people are astounded, but it's like, okay, if your derriere can't fit in the seat, then we're going to be losing money. So, I just applaud that concept of saying, hey, we don't lose money because of you.
Well, that's a sad commentary. Leon, thank you. We'll have you back next Tuesday. We appreciate your time.
Take care.
Okay, that's it for the day. Medical supplies, your energy cleaner, your essential oils now while you can, your firearms ammunition. Never, ever give up your guns. Do please have a fun, safe, productive day, and God bless America.